Deep within the vaults of forgotten history, guarded by the relentless march of time and obscured by the sterile, synthetic halls of modern medicine, lies a blueprint for human survival. What if the most powerful apothecary ever assembled was not born in a laboratory, but rooted in the ancient soil of the Middle East? For generations, we have blindly traded divine wisdom for chemical illusions, turning our backs on the very remedies the Creator planted in the earth for our absolute healing. There are ancient codes hidden in plain sight within the pages of the most read book on earth. Secrets of profound cellular regeneration, immune defense, and radical vitality that the ancients used to defy devastating disease and live with unyielding strength. These sacred texts do not merely speak in spiritual metaphors. They offer literal, physical, earth-born anchors of life that modern science is only now, thousands of years later, scrambling to understand. If you have ever felt entirely failed by the modern medical machine, if you sense deep within your bones that a truer, older way of healing has been kept from you, you are not here by accident. Welcome to Lone Oak Remedies, where we unearth the forgotten wisdom of the ancients and bring the truth of natural healing back into the light. Settle into the quietness of your mind, because today we are journeying into the sacred, sun-drenched groves of antiquity to uncover 8 monumental trees mentioned in the scriptures. Trees endowed with such staggering medicinal power that they hold the keys to ultimate healing. Rising from the rocky, unforgiving peaks of the ancient mountains is a giant of unshakable strength, a wood so pure and enduring that King Solomon chose it to build the very foundation of the first temple. This majesty is the cedar of Lebanon. In the ancient texts, the priest would take cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet yarn to perform the deepest rituals of purification, specifically for the cleansing of leprosy, the most dreaded flesh-eating disease of the ancient world. The ancients understood something profound that we have tragically forgotten. The aromatic compounds locked within the thick, red heartwood of the cedar are highly potent antimicrobial and antifungal agents. Today, clinical researchers isolate these very same sesquiterpenes to treat severe respiratory conditions, chronic bronchitis, and deep-seated fungal infections that resist synthetic drugs. When the essential oil of the cedar is inhaled, it acts as an aggressive expectorant, drawing out stagnation from the lungs, while simultaneously stimulating the lymphatic system to drain toxins from the body. To the ancients, the cedar represented incorruptibility. To your body, it is a fortress of cellular defense, shielding your respiratory pathways and fortifying your immune system against the invisible pathogens that constantly wage war upon your biology. Descending from those high mountain peaks into the rocky valleys of the Mediterranean, we encounter a tree that served as the literal lifeblood of ancient civilization, a tree whose very name is synonymous with peace and anointing. The olive tree stands ancient and gnarled, surviving droughts and blazing suns for centuries, hoarding liquid gold within its bitter fruit. When the scriptures speak of the oil of gladness, of anointing the sick so they may recover, they are speaking of the pure, unadulterated oil of the olive. But the healing power of this sacred sentinel extends far beyond the oil press. The silver-green leaves of the olive tree contain a phenomenal compound called oleuropen. The ancients would steep these leaves in boiling water to create bitter tonics that broke relentless fevers and cured infections. Only recently has modern pharmacology discovered that oleuropen possesses devastatingly effective antiviral and antibacterial properties, capable of destroying the cell walls of invading microbes without harming the host. Furthermore, the oil itself is a master regulator of human inflammation, rich in oleocanthal, a natural phenolic compound that mirrors the pain-relieving mechanisms of modern non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, but without the toxic burden on the liver and gut. To consume the olive and its extracts is to bathe your cardiovascular system in a profoundly protective shield, reversing oxidative stress and repairing the delicate lining of your arteries. In the shaded, tranquil corners of the ancient gardens grows a tree with broad, sheltering leaves and incredibly sweet, nutrient-dense fruit. The fig tree is woven deeply into the narrative of human dawn. but its medicinal application in the scriptures is a revelation of historical dermatology. We are told the story of King Hezekiah, who was struck with a terminal, deeply infected boil, standing at the very edge of death. The prophet Isaiah did not offer a mystical incantation. He ordered a poultice of figs to be applied directly to the rotting flesh. Within days, the king was entirely healed. This was not merely a miracle, it was an application of divine biology. Figs are bursting with a powerful proteolytic enzyme called phycin, which specifically targets and digests dead tissue, drawing out infection and venom while leaving healthy cells entirely intact. When mashed into a poultice, the high sugar content creates an osmotic vacuum, pulling moisture and bacteria out of the wound, while delivering a massive localized dose of antioxidants and cell-regenerating vitamins. Internally, the fig acts as a supreme regulator of the human microbiome. Rich in prebiotics and deeply soothing mucilage, it repairs the mucosal lining of the gut, which we now know is the absolute command center of the human immune system. Journeying further into the brutal, scorching deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, we find a twisted, unassuming tree clinging to the arid rocks, guarding a resin so valuable it built empires and established ancient trade routes. By piercing the bark of the boswellia tree, harvesters extract the milky white tears of frankincense. Presented as a supreme gift to the infant Christ, this fragrant resin was burned in the temple as a sweet aroma to the heavens, but its smoke and oils held a radically physical purpose. The ancient priests, entirely surrounded by the smoke of frankincense, were breathing in one of the most powerful neuroprotective and anti-inflammatory substances on Earth. Modern science has isolated boswellic acids from this sacred resin, discovering with utter shock that these compounds can cross the blood-brain barrier. They actively shut down the production of leukotrienes, the precise molecules responsible for systemic inflammation, arthritis, and asthma. Even more astonishing, deep clinical studies are revealing that frankincense contains compounds that communicate directly with the DNA of mutated, malignant cells, commanding them to undergo apoptosis or cellular suicide, while leaving perfectly healthy tissue completely unharmed. It is a divine intelligence locked inside tree sap, offering a radical reset for an inflamed, exhausted neurological system. Standing alongside frankincense in the harsh desert winds is its bitter sister, the Commiphora myrrh tree, the source of myrrh. If frankincense is the breath of the divine, myrrh is the blood of the earth. Its name translates literally to bitter, and its story is deeply entwined with suffering, preservation, and ultimate resurrection. Offered to Christ on the cross, mixed with wine as a profound anesthetic, and used later in his burial to preserve the flesh, myrrh is the ancient world's most formidable antiseptic. The ancients packed open wounds with myrrh resin to stop gangrene dead in its tracks. Today, we know that myrrh is loaded with unique terpenes that obliterate bacteria, fungi, and parasites. It is a powerful astringent, tightening tissues and halting bleeding, which made it an absolute necessity for ancient midwives and battle-hardened soldiers alike. When ingested or applied to the gums, it eradicates the bacteria responsible for deep periodontal disease, which modern cardiology now links directly to heart failure. Myrrh does not simply mask pain, it binds to the body's opioid receptors, offering deep, systemic relief while actively accelerating the production of white blood cells to heal the underlying trauma. Moving away from the rocky crags and into the vibrant, life-saving oasis, the towering date palm reaches toward the desert sky. The scriptures declare that the righteous will flourish like the palm tree, a profound metaphor for a tree that provides complete sustenance in an environment designed to kill. The date palm is a marvel of biological engineering. To the wandering tribes of the ancient Middle East, the fruit of this tree was a literal survival capsule. Dates are intensely packed with bioavailable potassium, magnesium, and copper, minerals that are absolutely critical for maintaining bone density and electrical conductivity in the human heart. but the medicinal secrets of the palm extend into its roots and pollen. Ancient healers utilized palm pollen to dramatically increase fertility and balance chaotic hormones in both men and women. The profound concentration of tannins found in the fruit and the bark acts as an elite gastrointestinal healer, binding to toxins in the digestive tract and expelling them from the body. To consume the offerings of the palm tree is to flood the body with the exact elemental building blocks required to endure immense physical stress and emerge entirely unbroken. As the cold grip of winter begins to break, the very first tree to awaken in the ancient landscape, bursting into brilliant white and pink blossoms before it even grows leaves, is the almond tree. The scriptures refer to it as the watcher tree, symbolizing the haste and certainty of the Creator's promises. When the rod of Aaron miraculously budded overnight as a sign of divine authority, it yielded almonds. This swift awakening mirrors what the almond does for the human mind. The ancients prescribed almonds and almond oils for those suffering from mental fatigue and memory loss. Today, we understand the staggering biochemical truth behind this practice. Almonds are one of the Earth's most potent sources of riboflavin and L-carnitine, two nutrients that are absolutely critical for deep neurological function and the prevention of cognitive decline. The high concentrations of vitamin E within the sweet oil act as a heavy armor for brain cells, neutralizing the free radicals that cause premature aging and neurodegenerative diseases. The almond tree provides the precise fuel required to awaken the mind, repair the fragile neural pathways, and sustain intense mental clarity through the deepest seasons of stress. Finally, we arrive at a mystery that bridges the earthly realm and the prophetic visions of the world to come. The scriptures speak of the tree of life, whose leaves are for the healing of the nations. While this represents a supreme spiritual reality, the ancient texts also point us to literal trees of profound healing that shadow this ultimate promise, specifically the aloes mentioned alongside myrrh in the preparation of healing and preservation. Ancient aloes, referring both to the deeply soothing aloe vera plant and the immensely valuable immune-stimulating agarwood, represent the pinnacle of tissue regeneration. The thick, gel-like substance of the aloe plant contains acemannan, a complex carbohydrate that literally signals the human immune system to accelerate macrophage production, rapidly eating away dead tissue and defending against aggressive viral attacks. It is a master healer of burns, radiation damage, and deep mucosal ulcerations. When Nicodemus brought a staggering fortune of myrrh and aloes to the tomb, he was bringing the ultimate agents of physical preservation, an apothecary of complete cellular defense. These sacred elements point us to a profound truth. The earth was designed with a woven matrix of botanical life intended to restore our broken biology, a whispering promise of the ultimate restoration of all things. We have spent generations chasing the empty promises of synthetic chemicals, slowly poisoning our vital organs while the magnificent living pharmacy of the ancient world waits patiently in the sunlight. These 8 sacred trees are not myths. They are biochemical masterpieces, perfectly engineered by the Creator to interface with human biology, to stop inflammation, to reverse cellular damage, and to heal the seemingly unhealable. It is time to step out of the shadows of modern medical despair and reclaim the forgotten heritage of the earth. We must return to the ancient roots of absolute vitality, shedding the artificial and embracing the profound, natural power that has been waiting for us all along. If your spirit resonates with this truth, if you are ready to reject the fragile narratives of modern sickness and step into the powerful light of ancestral, biblical healing, you belong with us. Welcome home. Subscribe to Lone Oak Remedies right now and join our rapidly growing family as we continue to unlock the deepest, most fiercely guarded secrets of God's pharmacy. Your journey to ultimate healing has only just begun.